has gone 6 periods without a shot on goal.
Of course, we talked about it before. Bobby Hull being bothered by a heavy cold. He sat out for the first 6 minutes in the second period of tonight's game, but now he's starting here with Hedberg and Ulf Nilsson as the hotline is back together.
Now it's center ice. Hedberg back to his own line. It's Tommy Bergman. It joined us late. Peter Sullivan's gone out of the lineup with a bad knee. For the Jets, they just continue to get hit by the injury problem. Now it's fired back down the ice by Marin, out of play. The first indication, slight stretch of ligaments. With a knee, it takes a couple of days. The first indication, 1 week. If it's worse, it'll probably be anywhere from 5 to 6.
The Jets can come up with a win tonight, move them into sole possession of second place, 2 points ahead of Quebec, and then 5 behind New England, who haven't won in the last 4 games.
Now it's chopped into the Winnipeg zone by Castellato. Back for it, Bergman. Bergman throws it behind the net. Castellato first man in. Slides it to the right side. That's stopped by Ulf Nilsson. He got it to Hedberg at the blue line. Hedberg at center ice for the Jets. In over the line. Hedberg goes into the corner. He and Westrom collide. Now Westrom gets the puck out on the wing to Marin. Marin at center ice for Henderson. Henderson checked by Long. Here comes Hull back. Hull over the line. Stopped by Dale Hoganson. Hoganson pumps it to Castellato. At center ice to Henderson. He dumps it into the Winnipeg zone. Daly on the boards for Hull. Hull now at the blue line to Barry Long. Long to Crisco to Ken Nilsson. Slap shot saved by Wood. And he holds on.
Barry Long, as you've been mentioning, has been having a great season so far. He took that puck up from his own blue line, fighting off a couple of Birmingham players, threw up to one of the Jets forwards, who just gave it back to Barry, and they got a good shot just inside the blue line on goaltender Wayne Wood. And Barry, of course, on this series before that, anticipating a Birmingham rush, went up the ice and broke up the play, playing very well.
Now it's kept in by Willie Lindstrom and then fired out by Baudouin. Back for it is Crisco to the red line for the Jets to Willie Lindstrom on the right wing. Lindstrom circles back into his own zone. Now at the red line, dumps it in on the left wing. Here's Kent Nilsson picking it up. Fakes it behind the net and pumped it right onto the stick of Dave Gorman of Birmingham. Gorman up to the red line where it's stopped by Ted Green. Green to Kent Nilsson, back in the Winnipeg zone to Green. Green starting out of the right defense. Up to LeBron. He poked it in. LeBron chasing it. Wood, first man there, takes LeBron out of the play. Puck rolls behind the net and up into the stand.
That was an odd play. Wayne Wood going right into the corner to throw a check into LeBron, who was going after the puck. Just prior to that, Willie Lindstrom on a broken play on a pass that Wood was going to Kent Nilsson, and Nilsson was all alone as the Birmingham players were skating away as the puck was going against the grain, as you can call it. Then he had a chance to get a shot on Wayne Wood. He pulled the goaltender out, went around him and threw it in front of the net, but no one was there.
Ulf Nilsson's WHA record is on the line here in the third. He has not picked up a point tonight. He has the WHA record coming into the night of 18 straight games with an assist at least. Here's Guindon's shot. That's an assist record, not a point record. Now beaten on the left side, up at center ice, bounced it into the Winnipeg zone. Back for it is Long. Got it to the point, but not out. Turkowitz into the corner for Napier. Got it in front, kicked out by Daly off the stick. Now beaten. Guindon to the blue line. Slap shot. And a save by Wood, and he dives on it.
Well, that tells you the score 2-1. Just some great play by both goaltenders. Birmingham looks like they might have had a goal there. Joe Daly had his foot on the post and it prevented the goal. And right after that, Bobby Guindon was fed a breakaway pass, and Wayne Wood got a high shot and made a good save on that one. Some excellent play by Joe Daly for the Jets, and Wayne Wood in Birmingham's net. That's why you got a score like 2-1 right now for the Jets in the third period.
Back behind the goal, Turkowitz to Beaton on the boards, tied up by Bergman, and it slides back into the corner. Durbano for the Bulls, checked by Moffat. Now it rolls to Beaton on the left side. Beaton fires it to the red line, stopped by Barry Long. across ice to Bergman. The Islanders beat the Red Wings 4-1 tonight in the NHL. Now Guindon at center ice. Up over the line on the right side. Guindon stops. Trying to get it out front. Back to Long. Hopped over his stick. Guindon and Wayne Wood were teammates with the Montreal Junior Canadiens a couple of years back, about 5 or 6, when they won the Memorial Cup together. Wood out of his goal, slides it over to Durbano. Steve Durbano up on the right wing, fired it to the red line, stopped by Hedberg. He dumps it back in. Durbano coming back for the Bulls. At center ice, backhands it in. Hull going back for it at the 4-minute mark in the third, checked by Henderson. Puck rolls to Green. He pumps it to Hedberg on the right wing. Hedberg trying to get it out, takes it to center ice. Hedberg on the right side, over the Bull blue line, cutting in, backhand, Wood the save, rolls behind the net. Now Hull after it to Ulf Nilsson. Back to the point, that's knocked down, it rolls to the Winnipeg line, a race for it, and Crisco chops it off the glass. Now Henderson keeps it in, firing it into Castellato to Henderson. Henderson taking to the boards and slammed by Crisco there. Now Hedberg fires it back down the ice. Hoganson racing with Hull, and Hoganson got his stick on it. It's called for racing. He and Hull ram into the boards, and they're both down on that play. A race for the puck.
A heavy collision in the end boards with Dale Hoganson and Bobby Hull. Hoganson's stick shattered, and Hull possibly maybe got part of it that hit him, but he's up. He's having a tough time these days under the weather, and then getting a good shot there with Hoganson in the far boards. Hoganson got a new stick. Just prior to that, Dave Crisco really belted Paul Henderson and Jets end. Crisco playing very well in the blue line tonight.
4 minutes and 38 seconds into the third. The depleted ranks of the Jets leading it 2-1. Sullivan up. Horning up. Schuberg up. Claxon up. Barry Long and Bergman come back up. On the ice for the Jets, it's Bilodeau left wing, Dave Gorman in the middle. On the right side, Ken Lintzman. Hughes and Baudouin are the defensemen. From the draw, Nilsson to Bergman. He's knocked down. Got it to center ice to Lintzman. Left wing pass to LeBron. Up over the line. LeBron's back pass. Knocked down by Baudouin. Lintzman slides it behind the goal. Hughes kicked it to Lintzman. He's tied up. Now it's knocked loose by Hughes. On the boards for Gorman. At center ice to Bilodeau. In over the line. He goes into the corner. Bilodeau behind the net. Spun around and dumped by Long. Puck rolls to Gorman. Gorman on the boards trying to center it. Got it behind the Jet net to the far side. Stopped by LeBron. LeBron to Nilsson. Checked at the blue line. Bilodeau keeps it in. Backhands it right in front. Barry Long knocked it down. Penalty coming up to Bilodeau. He took a slap at Ulf Nilsson. Now he's going after Nilsson. He's already got the first penalty. And Bilodeau just ran Nilsson after the whistle.
Well, Bilodeau, just prior to that, hit Ulf Nilsson on top of the head, and then he skated across the ice, and then he took another swing at him, and no doubt that'll hurt the Bulls now. They're only down by 1 goal. They certainly don't need a penalty at this time, giving the Jets a power play opportunity.
2-1 Winnipeg. This is Jets hockey from the Winnipeg Arena.
Have you noticed something different about that big man of yours lately?
Bilodeau, 2 minutes for high sticking, and then when he ran Nilsson after the first minor, they just tacked 2 more on. So when they're down 2-1, a bad time to take a penalty for the Birmingham Bulls. On the Salisbury House power play. Draw the name of Mrs. T. Elkert. 901 Strathcona Street, Winnipeg, who selects the left winger. On the Jet power play, Dan LeBron on the left side. Willie Lindstrom right, Kent Nilsson in the middle. And Bergman is back on the blue line with Long. Killing off the penalty, Napier. Lintzman up front, Baudouin, Hughes. Kent Nilsson all the way back into his own zone to Willie Lindstrom. At center ice. Dumped it off for LeBron. He's stopped by Baudouin. Baudouin checked by LeBron. Right wing pass to Lindstrom over the line. Slap shot. Wood kicks it off. And it rolls to WHA, who bounced it off the glass down to the Winnipeg line to Lynchman. Over the line, checked by Barry Long. He backhands it to Kent Nilsson at center ice. Over the line, penalty coming up on the play. Willie Lindstrom and Mark Napier will both go off on this call.
Well, things getting a little chippy out there following Bilodeau's penalty. Now got Willie Lindstrom going off.
And Mark Napier as well.
Mark Napier. Still, the Jets will have an advantage.
Lindstrom steps into the penalty box. Now Napier goes into the far side, or at least he's attempting to, after he has a little discussion with Ron Harris. That'll do him no good.
The Birmingham penalty is to number 9, Mark Napier. 2 minutes for interference.
Interference, Napier.
Number 20, Willie Lindstrom. 2
Willie Lindstrom.
minutes for interference.
And interference.
Time of the penalty is
Both sides. So Birmingham is 2 men short, Winnipeg 1 here in the third. 2-1 for the Jets.
Originally, Bilodeau went off 4 minutes for high sticking at 5:23. Then a 6:14 just now. Lindstrom for the Jets, Napier for Birmingham. 2 minutes each for interference.
All the NHL scores are final now. The Rangers were beaten by Buffalo in Buffalo 3-2. The Islanders over Detroit 4-1 in Detroit. Philadelphia at home shut out Los Angeles 2-0. And Boston at home over St. Louis 4-1. The Bruins 11 straight without a loss. Here it's 2-1 Winnipeg. The only WHA game tonight. From the draw, back into the Bulls' corner. Westrom bounced it to the line, but not out. Nilsson over to Hedberg behind the goal. Back to Crisco. Crisco across to Hull. Hull trying to get it in front. Couldn't get his shot away. Checked by Hoganson. Hull without a stick in the corner trying to tie it up. Now it's kicked back to Crisco at the point. He dumped it in. Nilsson shot saved. Now Nilsson to Hull. Back to Crisco. On the boards to Hull. Hull stick handling across. Slap shot wide. And it comes all the way back to the Winnipeg zone. Back for it is Dave Crisco. Behind the Jet goal. Feeds it to Hull on the left wing. Fires it to the red line to Hedberg. Busting over the line. Hedberg shot.
And center ice with one of the Bulls. And there's another set of two with Bobby Hull and Frank Beaton. Both Nilsson and Dale Hoganson. But the rest of them are standing around holding each other.
And we'll see if they get Linsman. That's who started it all with a cheap shot pulling down Nilsson, skating up to center ice after the goal. No way to win hockey games. We'll take a break.
The season scored by number 15, Anders Hedberg. Assisted by number 9, Mark Napier. And number 60, I beg your pardon, number 9, Bobby Hull. And number 16, Dave Crisco. The time of the goal, 7:04. I repeat, Winnipeg goal from number 15, Anders Hedberg, his 17th of the season. Assisted by number 9, Bobby Hull, and number 16, Dave Crisco. Time of the goal, 7:04.
Mixing it up with Linsman over. Now they all pile in over there. Frankie Beaton gets loose. He's still trying to get it Hull. Now, that Westrom and Hull. Hull is hit. Sucker shot on the left side by Dervano. He suckered probably from behind. And Ron Harris, the referee, had to tackle him. Well, I don't believe it. Now, Bilodeau is trying to pull Hedberg off the ice. It's wild here tonight.
Boy, this is something else. You know, they just keep on doing it. Frankie Beaton is one who is going after. We got Dave Dunn, who's
Dunn is hurt. He's holding on to Bilodeau.
a couple of big guys out there. They're a couple of big guys.
Ron Harris is going to have fun handing this out as Frank Beaton has been ejected from the game and being guided to the bench. Sonmore's got a hold of him now. They're going to start sending him back to the bench.
tossed in behind the penalty box to get a closer look at all this. Probably, and Dr. Jerry Wilson down by the penalty box. Joe Daly is the only one that's not left. There's Teddy Green and Urbano. There's Ron Harris standing in between them.
Being fooled by themselves. The league is close, tight. Good hockey game at the last moment. Now Nilsson and Linksman again. Now Hughes jumps in with Hull and Bilodeau. Well, I throw both teams off the ice and send everybody home. You know, this is a joke. It happened right after a goal. Everyone's just skating back to center ice. And Linksman went after both Nilsson, and then it started. Let's take another break. Here's Urbano, yellow box, and Green is ready. No, sends in the 3-0 2. Let's send both teams to the dressing room right now. That's the only way. There's already ordered. Larry Nolan is 15 already halfway on the ice. Players, including both goaltenders on either side. 7, 5 of Birmingham and 2 Jets out of the game. So we've got some semblance of order here at the Winnipeg Arena for 8,480. And once again, we apologize to our listeners. As I said, if I had my way, I'd have said good night about 9.5 minutes ago. But we have to serve our listeners, and that's the only reason I'm still here, because this is absolute nonsense.
All of Birmingham, most of the Birmingham players are all around the head official at center ice. Now, Harris is indicating his final decisions on the calls, and he's not going to take any more. And now Birmingham will skate back to the bench, and hopefully we'll start the action with a 3-1 lead for the Jets and lots of penalties to be served up.
Face-off will be at center ice. 3-1 Jets. We're going to go by power play and man advantage just by what's on the ice. Napier, was he given a game as
Right, he left the penalty box.
What's he doing arguing?
I don't know. He's probably going pointing me, am I out or what?
He's out of the game. He can't argue. He's going to the dressing room. Same with anybody in the Jets. If you're out of the game, you go to the showers. Now,
Dave Dunn is going to the penalty box. Like you're saying, before the game, they dressed him and with an indication of the fact that if there are a lot of penalties to be served, like 10-minute misconducts, they would use Dave Dunn, and now here's his chance to serve some penalty minutes for some of the players that were ejected. Mind you, he was out on the ice during that brawl, and he was tangled up with Serge Baudouin.
22-minute delay because of this fight. At this point, we still haven't dropped the puck. Ron Harris sending players to the penalty box. Barry Long, Kent Nilsson, and Dave Crisco for Winnipeg are out in front of Joe Daly. Paul Henderson with, and we're ready to go. And we're underway in the third period with the Jets leading 3-1. Kent Nilsson dumps it to the Birmingham line. Pat Westrom slides it through the middle. Barry Long controls it there. Long across to Crisco. Crisco dumps it through the middle. That's knocked out. Here's Kent Nilsson picking it up. He's checked. Now Pat Westrom at the Winnipeg line. Dumps it in. And it's offside on the play.
Well, with 3 aside on this situation, there's good opportunities here for breakaways for other side. You're not having that many players out in the ice and any sort of tip or a block. Lots of room to skate. Hoganson, Westrom, and Henderson for Birmingham at the Jets blue line. Kent Nilsson, Crisco, and Long. And LeBron changes off with Kent Nilsson now.
Face-off at the Winnipeg line. 3-1 Jets in the third period.
Anders Hedberg looks like he got a little bit of a injury. He's sitting in the penalty box now. He's possibly got a cut above his eye.
Now it's dumped down the ice by LeBron. Back for it is Westrom for the Bulls. Slides it to Wayne Wood. Wood on the right side to Hoganson. Up to center ice to Henderson. He throws it back into Dale Hoganson. Hoganson across to Wayne Wood. He got it out to Hoganson. Up at center ice on the right side. Hoganson up over the blue line. Spun around on the play by Crisco. Still has it. Hoganson walking in front. Checked by Barry Long. Westrom on the left side. Into the corner. Trying to control it there. Barry Long takes him to the boards. It's knocked loose. Westrom back of the point now to get it. Fired it. Knocked down by Crisco. In the corner now. Hoganson on the left side. Dumps it in wide of the Winnipeg goal. Henderson after it. Goes back to center ice. Gets it over to Hoganson. Hoganson now slides it across on a change. Stewart kicks it back to Hoganson in the Birmingham zone. Both teams changing on the go. Now Hoganson at center ice. Checked by Guindon. It rolls into the Winnipeg zone. Guindon back to get it. Drops it behind the net for Dave Crisco. Crisco leading the Jets up over the blue line. At center ice. Slaps it in. Wood deflected it wide. Wood in the corner to Stewart. Stewart checked by Guindon. Back to Bergman. Bergman at the point. Dumps it in. Guindon. Shot save. Hit the goalpost on a tap by Guindon. Now it's brought back by Hughes, but offside at the Winnipeg line.
That's one of the stars, no doubt, in tonight's game. Bobby Guindon just skating miles tonight and having an excellent opportunity on a slow dribbler past Wayne Wood, which hit the goalpost on the far side and moving very slowly. And Guindon almost had a second goal of the night. But the face-off with 52 seconds left in the first 10 minutes of the third period. We still have 3 aside. With all those penalties to be served, 8 majors in a brawl following Hedberg's goal at 7:04. 7 players have been ejected from the game.
Now taken into the corner by Baudouin. He and Moffat tie it up in the Jet zone, and it's whistled down there. Ulf Nilsson was ejected.
Game misconduct. And,
there goes his record. It stops at 18 games with at least 1 assist. Did not pick up a point tonight. That is the new WHA record. It'll stand at 18 straight games that he has played with an assist, at least 1 assist. Now it's taken by Lyle Moffat in the Winnipeg zone to Daly. Daly down to cover up. Score! Stewart chopped it in.
Harris on the penalties. And another 10 minutes or so, we'll be here 3 hours. Right from the face-off at 7:30. It's almost 10:30 now here.
And we still got another 10 minutes of hockey, which could make it 3.5 hours before we're finished tonight.
And if there's another goal by Birmingham, we might have overtime.
3-2, the Jets lead at the midway portion of the third period, as the teams have 3 attackers each. And we're back underway. Brent Hughes across at his own line to Baudouin. Up to Hughes at center ice. In over the line. Fired it. Score! Hughes catching the short corner.
Scored by number 3, Brent Hughes. Assisted by number 17, Serge Baudouin. And number 19, Paul Henderson. The time of the goal, 10:12.
Over the line. Nilsson dumps it in for a long shot. Saved by Wayne Wood on a trickler.
Barry Long was just inches away from getting a possible goal there with Kent Nilsson driving a shot in. And Long just had to go in behind him, and he just took a last-second swing, and the Bulls are right back in this game, tying it up 3-3 at 9:24. John Stewart from Hughes, and at 10:12, Hughes from Baudouin and Henderson.
Faceoff will be to the right of Wayne Wood. Deadlocked at 3-all. From the draw, Ken Nilsson kicks it into the corner. Back for it is Hughes. He slides it behind the net to Baudouin. Baudouin off the boards, got it to center ice. That's picked up by Stewart. Stewart up over the Jet line, spun around by Long. Ken Nilsson picks it up. Up to center ice. Nilsson over the line, hit into the boards by Hughes. Now Stewart runs it in. Penalty coming up to John Stewart. He'll go out, but it won't make any difference man advantage-wise.
They'll still stay at 3.
Still stay at 3. You can run them all night here.
Birmingham has scored 2 goals for that situation. Hughes' goal was a shot just above the face-off circle, beat Joe Daly, tying the game up at 3-3.
Number 18, John Stewart.
John Stewart, interference.
10:52.
Interference to John Stewart at 10:52. 3-3 the score. And no difference in men on the ice as far as numbers. Westrom behind the Bulls' goal. Slides it over to Castellato. He got it to the red line. Billy Lasuk dumped it back in. That's offside. Dan LeBreton was already inside the line and whistled down on the play. 8,480 the paid attendance here tonight. That means the Jets now had 11 home games. 99,544 have been on hand for an average of 9,049 in a building that holds just over 10,200 with the rafters packed.
Now the head official, Ron Harris, is back at the penalty box. He skates away now, just checking on the penalty situation.
From the draw, back to Bergman. Bergman at the red line, back to Billy Lasuk. Lasuk in his own zone. Slides it to LeBreton. LeBreton back to Billy Lasuk. At center ice, he backhands it down into the Bulls zone. Wood out of the goal, leaves it for Westrom, and it's called for icing. Faceoff will move the length of the ice into the Winnipeg zone.
3 goals in this third period. Jets made it 3-1. Anders Hedberg at 7:04 from Holland Crisco, and then we had a bench-clearing brawl, which saw 8 majors and 7 players ejected. And then with 3 aside, Birmingham got 2 goals at 9:24. John Stewart and at 10:12, Brent Hughes.
Now Bill Lasuk in his own zone across to Tommy Bergman. Bergman up over the blue line for Winnipeg. At the center ice area, takes it in over the Bull line, slides it to LeBreton. LeBreton backhands it to Billy Lasuk. Slap shot. Wood the save, coming out to cut down the angle, and he holds on. Almost trickled between his legs.
Good setup there. Bergman to LeBreton. Set up Lasuk, who had a good drive from that left side. Wood came way out of his net, and he blocked the shot, and he was outside the outer rims of the face-off circle, about halfway to the blue line.
Good play by Wayne Wood as well. Here we go, another meeting. Otherwise, they just don't keep going. You know, the more they delay this game, timekeepers either don't know what's going on or something. Every time there's a whistle, they blow their own horn and get the referee over there for another delay. Who cares? Play 3 aside. Let's get it over with.
Hull's got 22 seconds left and his 5-minute penalty. Hedberg has 7:18 according to the clock.
Now Harris goes to his note paper again. Ron Harris worked the game in Quebec last night. Like the Bulls, had trouble in his snowstorm getting out of there. Flew here today and is working tonight. And I'll tell you, right about now, he probably would say, let's get this over with. Now Harris heading back into the Birmingham zone where the face-off will be. See, it signifies it to the right circle. 3-3 the score, 8:18 left. Castellato, Hoganson, and Westrom. Long at the point, shot wide. Long geamed down at Crisco for Winnipeg. Crisco dumps it in. Castellato back to get it. Puts it behind the net to Westrom. Westrom back for Hoganson. Hoganson holding on to it behind the net. Takes his time now. Hoganson over to Castellato. Up over the blue line is center ice. Castellato to the Winnipeg line. Moving in on the right side. Taken to the boards by Crisco. Now it's knocked behind the net. Westrom trying to get it out front. Feeds it back to the point, but there's no one there. Hoganson chases it back to his own line. Throws it over to goaltender Wood to Hoganson. Hoganson now at center ice. Over the blue line. Hoganson trying to take it in front. Goes in the corner. Into the boards by Crisco. And they tie it up for a face-off.
Davey Crisco not holding back on any of the hits. He's throwing some good body checks into tonight's game, and there was a good indication taking Hoganson into the corner. Crisco and Bobby Guindon having good games tonight for the Jets. And once again, the buzzer goes at the penalty box. And no doubt there's a lot of confusion, too. You have the Birmingham players leaning over and probably confusing the timekeepers. They're right there and throwing in a few shots, and no doubt confusing them that much more.
Both teams, they should just stay out of it, let the officials run.
That's right.
And 7:28 left in the marathon show, live from the Winnipeg Arena. We're going for the world's record. Where's Bud Brunatu? Get him out of retirement, score the overtime winner.
2:30 in the morning.
I'll tell you, it's going to be a long one tonight. We're 3 minutes away from 3 hours.
If Knuckles gets in from Montreal, he'll be able to take in this game.
Face off to the left of Joe Daly in a tied hockey game. Some would refer to it as a hockey game. Others may not. As Ron Harris is continuing his discussion at the penalty box.
We had 3 fans behind the penalty box thrown out by the head official tonight. No doubt they were throwing a few bad remarks towards him.
3 aside in front of the goaltender, so that's 4 each. As it's taken by Baudouin. Baudouin of the Winnipeg zone takes it out to center ice. Now dumps it back to Wayne Wood. Wood off to the right of the goal. Fires it to Hughes at the blue line. His pass knocked down by Bergman. And it's picked up by Baudouin. Up to center ice for Birmingham. In over the blue line. In on the left side. Baudouin trying to get it out front. Stick handles to the corner. Backhands it back. Hughes at the point. Slap shot knocked down by Guindon to Green. Green kicks it behind the net and tied up there by goaltender Joe Daly.
Jets had trouble around that net. Teddy Green couldn't find it. And Joe Daly, in a mass of legs, pulled it out, took it behind the net, pinned it for a face-off. As both teams are still playing 3 aside, Bobby Hull's penalty has expired. He's sitting on the bench now. And no doubt will be looking for another shift out there. The Jets will have, let's see, Bergman goes off. They have Ted Green, Dave Crisco, and Bobby Guindon.
Consolado, Westerman, Hoganson for Birmingham. 3-3 score. From the face-off, back to Hoganson. Hoganson on the right side, trying to work it in front. Checked by Crisco. Behind the net, Hoganson after it. Coming out on the left side, back all the way to center ice. Now he throws it back to Wayne Wood. Wood fakes the pass, then fires it to Hoganson. Hoganson in his own zone. Fires it across to Pat Westrom to center ice, checked by Crisco to Guindon. That's offside at the blue line.
Fans didn't like that call as the Guindon was taking the puck over the blue line. And are we going to have any more discussions at the penalty box? No, it looks like we're going to continue the action with 6:29 remaining in this third period. 3-3 the score. And we see that Jim Turgowich has 2 minutes, pardon me, his 2-minute minor, 37 seconds left in his penalty.
From the face-off of the Bulls line, back to Hughes. Up for Baudouin. Center ice to Henderson. In over the blue line, drop pass to Hughes. Moving in. He's dumped by LeBrot. Loose puck goes to Tommy Bergman. Bergman trying behind the net. Kicked it over to the right side. Goes after it. Pushed it to Long. He slides it around to the left side. To Dan LeBrot. LeBrot now in a tied game back to Bergman. Bergman starting out for Winnipeg. Takes his time to the blue line. Up at center ice. Now Bergman in over the line on the left side. Stops at the face-off circle. Feeds it back to Long. Long moving in. Backhands it into the corner to LeBrot and back to Bergman. Bergman cruising in. Slap shot. Save. Rebound. LeBrot took it behind the net. Now feeds it back to Bergman. Slap shot. Wood kicks it out. And it's taken by Baudouin. Baudouin fires it down to the Winnipeg zone. 5.5 minutes left in the third. 3-3. Here's LeBrot up over the line. On the left wing. Stop there. Consolado starts back for Birmingham as LeBrot and Hoganson start to push and shove in the Birmingham zone. Quickly, Long steps between those two, and I think they're both going to go out. bet everything here tonight, Ed.
Well, Kenny, one of the big things that's been overlooked thus far, of course, the lack of manpower on both sides, but the Jets, Ulf Nielsen with a game misconduct, Anders Hedberg with 10 minutes with 2 5-minute majors, Bobby Hull with a 5-minute major, and you just can't take that line away from the Winnipeg Jets and hope to hold the Bulls or anybody even for that matter, but give the Bulls credit. 2 goals, 48 seconds apart with the teams 4 aside, and it's deadlocked at 3-3 with 5:21 left in the third period.
Well, wipe out the nonsense at that third goal by the Jets, and you got yourself a pretty good hockey game here tonight. Now we have more penalties. Hoganson and LeBrotten go into the box. There's no room on a penalty clock for their penalty, so we'll have to listen closely. See if we can pick it up. Teams are still 4 aside.
Is to number 33, Dale Hoganson. 2 minutes for roughing. To Winnipeg's number 21, Dan LeBratton. 2 minutes for high sticking. The time of the penalties, 14:39.
He fired into the red line. Dave Crisco knocks it down there for Winnipeg. Crisco bringing it back. Up over the blue line. Crisco on the right side. Lets it slide in as he runs into Baudouin. It's brought back by Brent Hughes in a tied game. At center ice, in over the blue line. Drop pass to Baudouin. His shot. Daly kicks it out. Castellato from behind the goal, trying to jam it at the side of the goal, and Daly took it away. He gives it to Kent Nilsson. Nilsson now, starting out. Up at center ice for Winnipeg. Kent Nilsson over the line, split to the fence. He's knocked down on the play, and Brent Hughes has got a tripping penalty. Kent Nilsson had deked him and gone by him. Brent Hughes hauled him down, and as I said again, you can do it all you want because it don't matter. You're not going to pay any penalties with nobody getting any less men. I'd pull them all down because, Eddie, you can fill that box up.
Kenny, the last penalties was Hoganson for roughing, LeBratton for high sticking at 14:39. This last one, Hughes for tripping at 15:33. But as you say, they'll be playing 4 aside till I don't know what freezes over.
Faceoff will be to the right of Wayne Wood. Wood out talking to referee Ron Harris. 4:27 left in regulation play. 3s across the board. 3-3 in the third. Now Billy Lasuk in the corner with Jim Turkowitz. They tie it up against the boards, coming out of another face-off. So the Jets are really hurting at center tonight. Kent Nilsson is really the only regular center left in the lineup.
You're right, Kenny, and prior to the brawl, it was a real gutsy performance by the Winnipeg Jets, and 2, as you call them, lesser lights at times. Bobby Guindon and Dave Crisco certainly rewarded tonight.
Here's Barry Long inside the blue line, checked by Henderson. He backhands it right to Wayne Wood. Wood to Turkowitz. Behind the goal, Jim Turkowitz on the left wing to Westrom. Rink wide for Henderson. Henderson up over the Winnipeg line. Back to Westrom. He fakes the shot, walks in, slap shot wide. Comes off the boards down to the Birmingham line. Back for it is Turkowitz. Up at center ice to Westrom. Westrom to the line. Dumps it in. Daly out to his left. Slides it behind the goal to Barry Long. Long kicks it to the blue line. Now fires it to the red line to Bill Lasuk with 1 man back. Over the line. Shot. Wood caught it. And he whirls it ahead. Wayne Wood pushed it into the corner as he and Lasuk collide. Now Lasuk takes Turkowitz into the boards and gets a face-off.
Well, Kenny, the goaltenders are having trouble tonight defensively. I don't know what they're trying to do. Joe Daly in particular with Bergman and Crisco on a couple of occasions. That time Wayne Wood, whatever he's doing in a 3-3 game, coming out that far, almost had it poke checked off his stick by Billy Lasuk. Finally dumped it into the corner, and they've got the face-off to the left of Wayne Wood now. 3:29 left in the third period, a 3-3 game.
From the draw in the Birmingham zone, Serge Baudouin on the right side to Stewart. Stewart now up to center ice to the Winnipeg line and in. Slides it into Castellato. Shot. Daly kicks it out. And it's whistled down to the play. Tripping penalty coming up to the Winnipeg Jets. Bob Guindon, I believe, will be the man. hauling down Tony Castellato. 3:14 left.
It is Guindon, Kenny, tripping at 16:46.
Winnipeg penalty to number 18, Bobby Guindon. 2 minutes for tripping. Now the penalty, 16:46.
Dennis First will talk to one of the stars in tonight's game from ice level when it's all over. Art Stratton will be with me in a post-game show. Now here is Crisco firing it to Kent Nilsson up at center ice. One man back in a tied game. Nilsson over the line. Stick handles. Fired it across to Crisco. Crisco, slap shot, went wide. Comes all the way back down the ice. Daly out of the goal. Slides it over to Kent Nilsson. Jets are changing on the go. Kent Nilsson up the ice. Very long and a breakaway. All alone. Deep. Hook check on the play, but it was offside on the pass.
You're right, Kenny. They couldn't hear the whistle for the roar of the crowd. Very Long just coming out, got the long pass, but it was offside.
Wow, what fans are left here got a little bit excited on that one. As Barry Long was scooting her home. We've had everything tonight.
It was a 1-0 hockey game. Ken Linsman scoring in the first period. The Jets went ahead 2-1 in the second on goals by Guindon and Cristo. They enlarged it to 3-1 on a goal by Hedberg, a power play goal before the ruckus, and then John Stewart, Brent Hughes, 48 seconds apart, ended a 3-3 hockey game.
Last time these two teams played here, it was 2-2 in overtime. So don't be surprised if we go to overtime. Now back to Bergman. On the boards to Ken Nilsson. Rookie for the Jets, circles in his own zone. 2.5 minutes left in regulation play. Now Ken Nilsson up at center ice to the goal line and in. Drop pass to Bergman. Bergman slap shot goes off Turkowitz into the corner. Paul Henderson now for the Bulls. Starting out, takes his time to the blue line up at center ice. Henderson's drop pass to Westrom. Westrom now backpedals it to the open wing, stopped by Nilsson. He fires it to the open wing for Long. Long to the Birmingham line and in. Barry Long controlling the puck, dumps it to Nilsson, back to Bergman. Moving in, Bergman spun around to the play. Here's a break, Henderson racing up to center ice all alone, over the blue line. Deep shot, saved by Daly, diving at that line. Now it's brought back by Nilsson at center ice over the blue line. Kent Nilsson back to Crisco, shot wide. Comes up on the netting. Crisco knocks it loose behind the goal, and it's taken there by Turkowitz. Now taken to Henderson. 4 aside now on manpower, not including the goaltender. Henderson has its whistle down. Let's see now. They'll whistle it down at center ice. I think the players got out and get it over with tonight. 3-3 score from the draw, Kent Nilsson, as the teams are 5 aside, including goaltenders. Gorman knocked it down at center ice, pumped it back into his own zone to Wayne Wood. Wood almost put it on Nilsson's stick, trying to get it to center ice. Now Serge Baudouin for Birmingham. Up to the red line of Paul Henderson. Over the line, Henderson back to Baudouin, checked by Kent Nilsson. A minute left. Nilsson at center ice. In over the blue line, across to Crisco, deep. Saved by Wood, poked it off his stick. Here comes Hoganson. Up at the red line. In over the blue line, Hoganson back to Henderson. His pass knocked down. And here's Hedberg at center ice with one man back. Up over the line, his shot saved by Wood. Hedberg in the corner, trying to tie it up, centered it up front. Green, slap shot, knocked down in front by Baudouin. And it rolls to center ice. 25 seconds left in regulation play. Offside at the Birmingham blue line.
Well, Kenny, 2 big chances for the Winnipeg Jets. Dave Crisco all alone on a 2-on-1 with Kent Nilsson. Kent Nilsson laid it perfectly, and Wood timed it perfectly to poke check the
Salato, Dale Hoganson and Pat Westrom in front of Wayne Wood. In a tied game with 22 seconds left in the third period. Back for it now is Hoganson to Castellato.